Hey there guys, I'm Axel the Beast of ZeldaDungeon.net. The topic for today is Spirit Tracks. Now I did a video about Phantom Hourglass before, and I gave my opinions on it and such. That's basically what this is, it's a follow-up, but I'm not going to compare the two games. This is purely about Spirit Tracks. I'll have a comparison between the two video, next week or something. That'll be my next video. This is just about Spirit Tracks. So let's get her started, shall we? Oh my god! The opening, the music, the scenes, the battles, the characters, the villain. Oh my god, this is amazing! Oh man, look at Chancellor Cole there. He's so cool. And who's this guy? Where did it go? I mean, overall, this is a really good game. I mean, of course it is. It's Zelda. I mean, it's really epic. I just went over there. The way they do everything, it's really epic and cool. And the game is difficult. You know how much I complain about how easy the games have been, but, this game actually was pretty difficult. And, then they had the Tower of Spirits, which was actually also really difficult. I mean, I've said that I liked the Temple of the Ocean King, and as I said, I'm not going to compare the two. But, the Temple of the Ocean King and this, I like them a lot. And this is, is no exception. I really liked the Tower of Spirits, and it was also really challenging. Now, that's one case I think it might have gotten a bit much, but it was still really good to have that challenge. And, the art and the music was really cool. I mean, there was just so much variety in the areas and the designs, and then they had the music, which, as I've established before, is freaking amazing. And, the story is actually pretty cool, and so are the characters. They've got some great guys in there, like Cole and Byrne, however you want to pronounce that, and stuff. And, a lot of people have, well, maybe not a lot, I don't know how common this is actually, but some people have complained that Zelda was annoying, or that it's kind of sexist what they did with her. Now, I don't want to get too deep into that, but I do wanted to touch on it very briefly, I think that it's kind of interesting what they did with her, because it's more like a traditional princess in medieval times. Now, whether what they did, princesses were like in medieval times, was sexist or not, I don't know. I'm not even touching on that. But at the very least, Spirit Tracks is more authentic for having a more classical princess in that, instead of the sort of tomboyish princesses we've seen in other games. And of course, she was also pretty cute. And it was cool that she turned into a Phantom. Phantom Zelda was kind of awesome. Ultimately, I think one of the game's biggest weaknesses is because it was so uneven. There's this awesome opening, right? It's just awesome. And then it's like, where'd it go? I have to go through 4 dungeons now, what? Or maybe it wasn't 4, I don't remember the exact count. But, suddenly you have to go through a ton of dungeons, and there's, no plot development until, that's over, and then there's a little bit, and then you do another dungeon, and then it's the end of the game. I mean, that's really uneven, and they do this with some of the other stuff in the game too, but it's mainly prevalent with the plot and the whole flow of events. It just didn't huh? Why are they making me do this? Why does it have to be that way? I mean, it just, I don't know. And then there's all the optional material. Oh, look, a bunny! He ran away. I couldn't even, dang, that's hard. So anyway, yeah, the optional material. They had some good ideas here. They had the bunnies, or the rabbits, whatever you want to call them. They had, the stamps. They had, all the treasures and the train parts and the force gems. It was interesting how you had to, go around on the train. It made use of the train. But I think it was kind of annoying because you just had to, ferry people around. It was fun sometimes, but it got obnoxious because there was so much of it. And, the rabbits, they were really obnoxious to catch. There wasn't even really a trick to them. I mean, and, the treasures, they were fun to get, but it's a little annoying sometimes. But, it adds some depth, I guess. And the stamps were cool, except, that last stamp. I mean, I don't know, it's just kind of unbalanced, I guess uneven again. How, you collect these things, and the prizes you get, they aren't even, you gotta go and get them, and you spend a lot of the game getting them, and you get some prizes along the way, but then the ultimate prize is gotten, when it's useless. Even the stamps and rabbits are perfect examples of this. I think some of the side material was, like, awesome. Like, some of those were creative ideas that maybe lacked proper execution, or maybe were done in a way that they shouldn't have been. But, you know, like, you got the stations, all those stations you can go to. Those were cool. There was a lot of exploring. And then they had, like, all the mini-games. This game had some great mini-games. There was all kinds of fun things to do. And then they had good prizes. That's the best way to earn treasures sometimes. I mean, it was cool stuff. And, I don't know, it's just, they had great ideas. I just don't think that, all of them were executed in the best way. I mean, some of it got kind of dull, and so there's some parts that just sort of got annoying. There's parts of the games where you sort of just have to go with the flow, and, you know, like, you know, you go find the bunny, and you miss it, so you just have to go and, you know, wait till you come back there later, because it's obnoxious. You have to go, you know, it's obnoxious to get them all at once. It's really annoying sometimes. Excuse me, gotta get another bunny. That's another thing, you know. The rabbits get really irritating. I mean, it's so obnoxious that you gotta, you know, you miss one, and then you gotta go right back to, like, a station or whatever, and then come out. Sometimes they're really far from a station. And, you know, the train, it's really slow. I mean, you know, overall the train is pretty fun. There's some cool stuff to do when you're on the train, and it's sort of fun. I mean, I'm not gonna touch on Phantom Hourglass, but, you know, they both had their merits. But I think it got really annoying sometimes, especially during all these side quests, when you're just trying to get somewhere, and you have to go along the train, along these specific little networks of tracks and whatever, you know. That got obnoxious, and, I don't know, I feel they could have handled that so much better. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Shoot it! And these things! You know, actually, wait a second. That's another thing. Look at these guys, okay? I mean, look at that. Okay, so it's this normal train here, and then poof! It's this evil train. What happened to the old train? What happened to the people in the old train? Did they die? As I said, the game gets kind of that point where you just gotta, you know, you have to go with it. The game forces you to go its way. And sometimes it gets really linear sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of side questing you can do, but it's really annoying, so sometimes you really want to balance it out, but it seems like it's disproportionate to the actual content of the game. I mean, the game is really good, but there's just these annoyances that kind of grate on you as you're playing, and some people have actually found the game irritating. I've also noticed that there's a lot of things about the game that are like Twilight Princess. I mean, there's themes, like, these spirits helping these spirits, and, like, evil clouds descending upon the land, and, like, this dark plate thing taking over. And then there's, like, then there's the enemies. I mean, there's all these guys, and, I mean, wow, they're the same things. I mean, some of them are enemies that have appeared before, but they're, like, the exact same version that was in Twilight Princess. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's cool, you know? I mean, I've made my own arguments about how I didn't like the style of Twilight Princess, but even if I did like it, it's cool to see familiar faces in a new art style. But it's a little odd. I mean, I guess ultimately it was just them trying to rush it out so we could get a new game, so they borrowed some themes. You know, maybe that's not a bad thing, because, you know, we do like our Zelda games, and we don't really like waiting for them. Oh man, another rabbit! Come on! Come on! Come on! No, 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 no!
Hey!
No.
Hey! Hey! Listen! Hey! Watch out!
Well, the epicness is back. I mean, you know, after you get through all those dungeons and all those rabbits, you get back to the cool stuff. I mean, the climax is pretty awesome. And, you know, this game has some good items. That sand wand is just a blast to use. And, you know, even the spirit flute is really cool. I mean, as ridiculous as it looks to be blowing on your DS, it was really, really fun to play that flute. I think that might be one of the best musical items. I mean, I know some people had trouble with it, and I understand why, and maybe that's something that needs to be paid attention to, but personally, I didn't have much trouble with it, and I thought it was an amazingly fun just playing the music and just using those songs. I wish the songs were used a little more within the game, but they were used more than some other games, so I can't complain a lot. Wow, look at this Malladus guy. He's really cool. Wait a minute. Doesn't he look a little familiar? I mean, look. They both possess Zelda. They both have the floaty whatever. And they both... Wow. They really even ripped off Ganon for Malladus. I guess I don't mind, you know. Malladus is cool on his own, but... I mean, Malladus is cool as being similar to Ganon, I guess. It's just odd, you know? I guess my overall opinion of the game is it's really good. Obviously, we already established that. There's so many good things to say about it. I mean, the art, the variety, the music, the story, the way everything is put together, it's so epic and cool. And even with my annoyances, at the end of the game, I was just blown away, you know? And it's really up there for me. It's a favorite of my Zelda games, for sure. But there's so many odd annoyances. I mean, it's odd because they're things that, you know, the other games don't suffer from as much, and it's just so unusual that they have these mistakes put in there. Maybe that's the price of experimenting with new ideas, but I certainly hope they don't do this again. But, you know, it didn't destroy the game, so maybe I should shut up. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on Spirit Tracks and all the points I touched on? What did you think of the side quests and the rabbits and the Spirit Flute and Ganon / Malladus? The similarities to Twilight Princess? I mean, what do you guys think? Tell me. I guess that's it, guys. Axel out.